Hi, we back again with more glitches. These stories are from Reddit users in their own words. They give us amazing details of what happened. Please like and subscribe at the end of this collection. Comment if you had a glitch, or email me at storyscary152@gmail.com. Hi, I'm tb-freakin-oot on Reddit, and the glitch is about my coworker's car that keeps changing color. I've never had a glitch experience before this, so the experience is really crazy for me. I work on a team that tends to come to work much earlier. 2 to 3 hours before most of the company. Because of this, it's very easy to spot all of our cars in the parking lot in the early morning, and we all have our favorite spots to park. One of my coworkers has a car that no one else, that I've seen, has in the company. It's a Cadillac of some type. Sorry, I don't know car models that well. Anyway, he's been here for a year. I've gotten a ride from him twice. I know where he parks because of above details. One morning, I come in and his red car is now silver gray. Literally overnight. It's just too quick for him to have gotten it painted. He's never talked about getting it painted, and he has a newborn at home, so I doubt painting his car is the last thing on his mind. Unless he has a secret car wrapping business and quietly changed his car color, and hoped no one would notice, I do not know how it would happen so quickly. Well, anyway, I know what you're thinking. Did you ask him? No. I didn't want to seem like a lunatic if he said it had always been gray. So I decided to let it go. About a month goes by and I joke to myself, what if it turns blue next? Thinking a second change would be impossible. Guess whose car is now basically black? Yep, same car, different color overnight. For the record, the first time I saw his car as gray-silver, it was still dark out. When I saw it this new dark gray color, the sun was already up and I literally thought it was black at first. I had to go up to it, because I couldn't believe it, before I realized it is just a very dark gray. If this color change was just lighting, I should have thought it was darker the first time. Also, at certain angles the color still looks like a dusty black. It's super weird and there is no way I'm bringing it up now, because he definitely didn't paint it twice in 4 to 5 weeks. Also, there is nobody with that type of car at my company and it is definitely his, in his spot. If it ever does turn blue, I'll post again. Hi, I'm Indigowulf on Reddit and my glitch is about Christine, the car. This took place many years ago when I was a late teen. It was a warm summer afternoon. My friends and I were getting together with nothing to do. One of the group had a car, so we decided to drive out to another friend's house and see if he wanted to hang out. Another girl in the group had a crush on him and talked the driver into this. We get to his house, which is a trailer on a really small lake, about an hour before sundown. Our friend was not home. This was before everyone had a cell phone, so we just decided to hang out in the car, listen to music, and wait to see if he came home. Like I said, nothing better to do. While we were entertaining ourselves, we noticed a car on the other side of the lake, a pretty classic. It looked just like Stephen King's Christine. Red Plymouth Fury, most likely same year or a similar one. We started making jokes about the car being in love with the person we are coming to visit, that he was really in her trunk, haha, evil red car. Eventually, we fall asleep. The friend gets home and knocks on the window to wake us. We all go in his house and play some board games and stuff and chatted. We told him our joke about Christine kidnapping him. We commented on the pretty red car, and he gave us a funny look, and said, "What red car?" So we went outside to point it out. There was a streetlight directly over it, so there were no issues seeing it clearly. But now it was light blue. This lake was small, the car was about as far as 2 city blocks would be. No reason we could not see it before or after. Plymouth Furies aren't exactly a common car. I can't imagine a red one driving away to be replaced with a blue one and the same spot in a few hours. Still relieved it just changed color, instead of coming to life and going on a murder spree. Hi, I'm CriscoSour on Reddit. My glitch is about a tennis ball disappears. This happened 2 years ago and is partly the reason I found this sub. My partner and I had just adopted a dog, and bought an assortment of toys to see which she liked playing with. We had some success with the tennis ball and played a one-way game of fetch, when the dog does not bring the object back. At one point I went to get the ball back from the dog and it was gone. It was 11 p.m., I looked for what was probably 20 minutes. The dog started acting weird, and even though it seemed impossible she would have swallowed it, I drove to a 24/7 vet a few towns over. After waiting at the vet and paying a huge bill, I am relieved to hear that she has not swallowed anything. I looked again when I get back and kind of just dismissed it and moved on. Fast forward about 12 months, and I am getting the apartment ready for our move to a new place, and I find the tennis ball in a closed cabinet in the kitchen. I only purchased one single tennis ball, and it was one with a dog graphic on it. There is no way it could have ended up in there, as I would have checked it if it was open, and the incident didn't occur in the kitchen. Not the most exciting story, but something I still cannot explain. Hi, I'm Luxxfrontier on Reddit, and my glitch is how a non-existent CD appears. I'm new to this group and thought I would share this experience I had a few years ago. I used to occasionally go to thrift stores and check out records and CDs because I collect them. This day I was at Goodwill, and right as I was about to leave I found a Judas Priest CD and immediately checked out. After getting home I opened it to look at the album sleeve. I love looking at the different pics and art. I realized there was no CD in the case. I felt a little disappointed, but I just laughed and tossed it on my dresser. A few months have gone by and I'm packing my stuff up as I am moving to a new house. After I settled in the new house and set up my record and CD shelf, I saw that case I got and put it in the box. Out of amusement, I open it and there the CD is. I know for a fact there was no CD in that case. I remember it very vividly. To this day I still have no idea how this could have happened. How does an object just happen to appear when it never existed? Hi, I'm LunarWolf 1991 and my glitch is about a flooded house. This takes place in Michigan in the summer of 2006. My friends, who I will call K and P for this, were hanging out with me. We were walking in the woods, and we found this old house set into a hill. It was filled with water. We looked in all the windows and my friend K was going to open one of the windows. I told him, no, don't you do that. You will let all the water out. We should go get our swimming trunks and use this place as our swimming spot. So we all left and got our swimming trunks and came back to the house. I saw sunlight on the roof, and said, hey Kay, you think we can get into the house through the roof? He said we can try, so we climbed up to the roof, and it was one of those hook-lock windows, so we opened it and jumped in. The water was so clear you could see everything. This is where the glitch starts to come into play, but we didn't pay attention. We just thought the furniture was nailed down and that's why it wasn't floating. So we used this place as our swimming pool for about a month, and one day me, K and P just go up to the house, not to swim, just to hang out because it was a cool place. I turned and started talking with P and I don't remember what we were talking about, but I turn back around and see Kay opening up the window and I yell, "Why isn't the water coming out?" Kay says, "I don't know." Then I say again, "Why isn't the water coming out?" And again Kay says, "I don't know." Then P says, "Let's just go in." Then Kay and I say alright, and we go in the house. It's at this point we figure out the water isn't ordinary water. You could breathe in it and talk in it, and we thought this was the coolest thing ever. For about a week and a half we would go into this house and just chill. Thereafter, we found that out. Then the water disappeared, and after that my friends and I forgot how to get to the house, and every time we tried to find it, we would get terrible headaches. I really wish I could remember where it was in the woods. Hi, I'm Monster_ on Reddit, and my glitch is about the extra headphone wire that appeared from nowhere. I have a Sony headphone that I had for many years now. I use it literally every day. It can be used by Bluetooth or wired. I mostly use it wired at home because I'm just sitting on my laptop. Anyway, a few days ago I was sitting on my other desk where I keep my coffee making stuff, and I saw my headphone wire there, so I picked it up to plug it to my headphone, but the headphone was already plugged. The wire is literally the exact same one. At first I thought maybe it's my sister's because she has another Sony headphones, but she showed me hers and the wire is there, and it's thinner and different. This wire even has the same texture as the one I have, so it must have come from the same model of headphones, but we only ever had one at home. How did this wire just appear on my table? I use it every day and never seen it. And I asked everyone at home and no one came into my room or even saw or touched any wire. Any logical explanation? Hi, I'm Junior Winner on Reddit, and I have a few glitches, and there are strange things been happening, and my mom has also noticed it. Well, I live with my mom. And at first things would disappear. Like I would leave my phone charger on the table and it would disappear, then 5 minutes later it would appear on the table. First I was like, okay, whatever, then it started happening more and more often with other things. One time I was at work and my mom called me, and she was like, "When did you change your bed sheets?" I'm like, "What? I still have the same blue ones." And she was like, "No, you have a red one." I was like, "No, you're just imagining things." And she walked to my room that moment and she was like, "Oh, what the hell? I know I saw them red earlier when I walked in there." I was like, "It's your imagination." Now this other thing that just happened to both of us confirmed that something is happening. Something strange. We were at Walmart the other day and she got a bottle of some hand soap. And she was like, "Smell it." I'm like, "It smells good, like lemon." And I read the label in front of her very clearly. Lemon-scented hand soap. I told her, "Perfect, we can put this on the bathroom to wash our hands." So a few days passed. And today I finished using the restroom, and I was going to wash my hands, but we had no soap and I told my mom, "Where's the lemon hand soap we bought the other day?" She was like, "Under the sink," so I went and grabbed it. Opened it and squeezed the nozzle. It wasn't soapy and it was a weird texture. I'm like thinking, face okay, so I called my mom to the restroom and I'm like, "Look, this soap don't work." She was like, "How strange," and she picked it up. Her face went pale. I'm like, "What's wrong?" And she was like, "Remember you reading the label the other day and it clearly said lemon-scented hand soap?" I'm like, "Yep, why?" She turned the bottle around, and it said lemon-scented body lotion. I instantly knew that was wrong. I'm like, "What the hell?" That just confirms what I was suspecting all along. That we're having lots of glitches lately, or maybe even going to parallel universes or something. I know it sounds lame, but I am glad I now have my mom as a witness to this that happened and I'm not crazy imagining things. What do you guys think is happening? Glitches? Parallel universes switching? Or could the house be haunted? And some ghosts are messing with us? Hi, I'm psychological_box577 on Reddit, and my glitch is water poured on my forehead from thin air. About a year ago in late June, I was over at my mentor's house. I do wildlife rehabilitation. Mostly squirrels, coons and possum. I was in the living room and Mrs. Gina, my mentor, was in the kitchen. All of a sudden ice-cold water started pouring on my forehead. I started calling for Gina because I was completely dumbfounded and in complete shock. She poked her head around the corner and said she saw a stream of water coming from thin air only about 2 inches above my forehead. It was about a cup of ice-cold water. Of course we did the usual investigation. There was no condensation or evidence of any water on the ceiling. She had been in that house for over 20 years and never had a leak in the ceiling. I tasted it. Nothing salty. Just regular water. But since then is what really shocked me. I got off of pain medication after being on it for many years following 5 separate spine surgeries. I became a counselor, I left an abusive 13-year relationship and found the love of my life, bought a house and moved to the country. My life completely changed for the better. The turning point was the water. I believe that it was spirit water. Holy water. Usually, you are anointed on your forehead in religious ceremonies. People have long used ice-cold water as a means to wake someone up. I feel that it opened my third eye and was a literal blessing of sorts from the other side. This is my first time talking publicly about it. I'm interested to see what conclusion other people will come to. I think things like this are very fascinating. Hi, I'm bro4929281 on Reddit, and my glitch is about the sun on my vacation. I really don't know if there is any science to explain this, but I know people here point out logical conclusions first, so I think this is the right place to post it. A couple of weeks ago, me, my family and another family went on a trip to a rural place in Bavaria for a couple of days. We rented these houses, one for each family, that were on this hill facing the woods and mountains. It was a beautiful place. Our houses were a little far away from each other, about a 3-minute walk. The entire place looked like a little neighborhood of its own. Sometimes my mom would send me or my siblings over to our friend's house to get or return stuff. On our first evening there, I went over at around 9 p.m. and gave them whatever I had to give them. When I started walking back, I stood there for a second because the sun was setting, and it looked beautiful. I have a picture of the view. I was a little jealous because our friend's balcony was facing the sunset and looked back at our house, which was almost completely dark already. I thought, tomorrow I will go to our friend's house and watch the sunset with them. I went back home, and as I was entering, my siblings were walking out to go to our friends. I told them to look at the sunset when they are there, and they did. The next day around the same time we ate at the friend's house, and I was excited to show my parents the view, but to my shock the sun just wasn't there. Like not even a little bit. I looked over to my siblings and was like, guys, the sun isn't setting on this side today, and they got as confused as me. I walk out the house and see that now the sun is setting on our side. I thought, okay, let's see what will happen the next day. The sun kept setting at this new spot from that day on until our trip was over. I have no idea why it changed, and I am glad I showed it to my siblings, so I wasn't the only one who saw it. Also, the picture is still there. I just regret not taking a pic of the night it set on the other side. Side note, I know nothing about cardinal points, so sadly I have no idea if the sun was setting on the west. But still, why would it change at all? Hi, I'm playful_ad2230 on Reddit. This is the story of a mysterious scar in my left arm, specifically in the biceps. So about 7 years ago my best friend told me a story about how he got a scar on his left arm when he tried to drift his quad in some broken glass and one of the pieces flew to his arm, causing the scar. At the time, I didn't have a scar myself. So 2 or 3 weeks later his sister told me the true story of how he got the scar. He was in a room, in a very sketchy house, and a big wardrobe with a mirror. Then the wardrobe fell on him without any explanation, and when he tries to stop the wardrobe, the mirror break and cut him. That's how he got the scar. So I laughed at him, and why did he lie about it, but he wasn't too happy about me laughing, so I let it go. I can't tell when it was, but in the next few years, I got the same scar on my arm without any explanation, and I don't know when exactly, and was very strange how I knew why I had it, but I couldn't remember why or how, so I just accepted it. The other day, 2 months ago, I was with my girlfriend, and we were talking about the scars and I wanted to show her the scar but I couldn't find it. I started to panic, and thinking it was on the other arm, or it was just my imagination. I felt overwhelmed for at least 1 hour because of it. The last week it reappeared, or I just noticed it, with other small scars all around. I really don't know where the scars are coming from. TLDR, I have scars that I don't know the origins, and sometimes it disappears. Hi, I'm shot_medicine_9196 on Reddit, and the glitch is about my shoes that are multiplying. So my mom and my sister went to buy this specific pair of shoes they both like. My mom is a size 6, and my sister is a size 5. They both got the same shoes, went home, and life is good. A few weeks later and we all went on a walk and they both wore those shoes. After the walk, and to stop muddy shoes getting all over the car, we put the shoes in the boot. We dropped my sister off at her house, and on the way home she took her pair of shoes out of the boot. On getting home my mum realized the shoes had got mixed up because she had one size 5 and one size 6. We called my sister but she said she had both her shoes, and they were both the same size. She even FaceTimed us to show us, and we assumed my mum had just always had 2 different size shoes and never noticed. Now for the glitch. Later on we found my mum's other shoe in the boot, but now we have this extra shoe in my sister's size. It's been months now, and we still have no idea where this shoe came from. It also periodically goes missing, and we find it again randomly in the house. Hi, I'm Rahotherealamk on Reddit, and is there a glitch in Los Angeles? Let me know in the comments. I'm freaking out. Now I already posted something on this subreddit about time freezing, but hear me out. The year was 1999 and I was in Los Angeles at that time. I didn't live there, I just wanted to check it out. I was driving around the town looking at the buildings. It was 8:15 p.m. and I was driving in the wrong direction. To get back to where I wanted to go, I had to drive through South Central. It was pretty quiet there for about 5 minutes. When suddenly I heard loud bangs, which probably weren't gunshots, but it sounded like them. I heard cars honking and tires squeaking and screams, but nobody was hurt. Because I drove there to take a look, which was a bad idea. Long story short, some guys chased me around, so I went downtown of Los Angeles and it was quiet. Which seemed pretty strange because it was just 8:33 p.m. and I was in a huge town. I started to panic and started to drive faster than before. I went from 25 in a 40 to 40 in a 40, and then I saw cars but they didn't move. I parked my car, while having a panic attack, and fell asleep. I woke up and everything was back to normal, only difference is, it was 8:15 p.m. again. And no, it was not a Mandela effect. I went to the next 7-Eleven store and bought myself a can of soda. I drank it, and while sitting on a bus stop I fell unconscious. I woke up and it was 8:15 p.m. again. And this freaked me out. I went on the highway and drove from LA to San Diego. I checked in a motel and I slept there. The next morning I wake up, completely exhausted, sweating, my body is full of that soda from yesterday. I go outside and checked out again. I drove back to LA, I visited my friend there who I didn't plan on visiting, and I stayed there for 3 days. I talked about it with him and he seemed confused. Which I can understand because I told him some alien BS or whatever and he says I was drunk. Only thing, I don't drink. I never tried, never did, and I won't. So I went back home. And just never talked about it again, and nothing happened. Until 2004. Hi, I'm Skin NY Mini 18 and the glitch at my local Walmart involving my girlfriend yesterday. So I know this is going to sound weird and ridiculous, but the craziest thing happened at Walmart yesterday that kind of freaked me out for a while. So my girlfriend and I go to Walmart pretty frequently. It's cheap and sometimes they have really cool Disney and anime shirts and stuff that we like, and it's only 5 minutes from our house. She told me she was going to check the women's clothes to see if they have any biker shorts while I was gonna go to the men's section to see if they had any new anime or Disney shirts. We decided I would just meet back with her since the registers are right in front of the women's clothes, and then we would go. When I was done checking the men's stuff, I see my girlfriend walking towards the food section, and in my head I was wondering why she was going there. So I started following her to catch up to her, and I see her suddenly turn left. So I ran and turned left and no one was there. It was an empty aisle and I was kinda confused, so I ran some more looking for her thinking she was fucking with me, and maybe went to the next aisle and legit there wasn't anybody near there, and I was confused on where she would have gone. So I decided to just call her up, and I said, "Hey, where are you? And why did you go to the food aisle? I told you I'd meet back up with you in the women's clothes," and she said, "I am in the women's clothes. I've been in the same spot." Immediately I said, "I just saw you walk here," referring to the section I'm at, and she was really confused. I ran towards the women's section and found her and told her what happened and what I saw, and she said maybe I mistook someone else for her. But my girlfriend is a pretty distinct girl, she's 5 feet 9 inches, and has really long blonde hair and is decked out completely in Disney. She was definitely weirded out but kinda just shrugged it off, but honestly I have no clue what happened. I was only like 7 feet from her when she turned the aisle, and I don't think she would have made it all the way down to the next aisle by the time I turned into it. And I ran around the entire vicinity looking for her because I thought it was weird. She was legit trying on clothes when I met back up with her at the women's section. Who the fuck did I see? Or what was it? The fact this happened at Walmart of all places is weird in itself, but it really did freak me out. I know people are going to think, "Oh, you just saw someone who looked like your girlfriend," but she was wearing something very specific. A Disneyland jersey which you get only from the park with Disney Crocs. We live in a retirement town near a res in the valley, so not many 5 feet 9 inches blonde girls decked out in Disney here. Plus the girl I saw disappeared basically into thin air, so even if it was a girl who looked like my girlfriend still was weird as fuck. Hi, I'm Joe PR 1985 on Reddit. My glitch is about me and my friend saw the moon explode and be put together again. This happened in Sanford, Florida in 2021. By Lake Monroe, at the Veteran Memorial there, which has a lot of places to sit. It was around 2 a.m. or so, and me and my friend were sitting near a lake enjoying the full moon. We were sober, and we don't do drugs at all. We spoke about all sorts of things that night, and how we tend to see a lot of crazy things in that particular location after 12 a.m. So we are sitting there, and I look up at the moon and I notice a dark spot on the full moon. And I thought it was just a random dark cloud. I pointed it out to my friend, and at this point we are both looking up. But this dark spot on the moon starts to spread, and it looks like cracks. The moon was cracking and big pieces of the moon and started to separate from it. We were both staring in disbelief and trying to make sense of what was happening. It felt like it should not be happening. It felt wrong. Like a glitch. But we were not scared at all, just confused. It felt off and very strange because the magnitude of what was happening never hit us. We keep looking up, and the moon has completely fractured and separated, all within 4 minutes or so. As we keep looking up, we see everything that happened being put in reverse. Just like if someone had hit a reverse button to all that had happened. We were seeing the moon get put back together. All this happened within 2 minutes. So the whole ordeal only took about 6 to 7 minutes or so. After this happened, we looked at each other and came to the conclusion that we had just witnessed a glitch in the Matrix. And we were the only ones that saw it. No one online in our area was talking about it. And to this day, that was the most insane thing I have ever seen. And now looking back at it, I have no idea what we did after that whole ordeal. It's like it's veiled or blocked from our memory. My friend feels the same way. I wonder if anyone else saw it. Hi, I'm anonymous on Reddit, and my glitch is about my beach umbrella vanished next to me. So this happened last summer. My girlfriend and I were spending our Saturday at the beach, and we of course had a beach umbrella in our setup. We positioned our chairs in the sun, and I dug a hole for the beach umbrella to go to the left of me to be able to go in and out of the heat. It wasn't particularly windy that day, but I always make sure the umbrella is sturdy in the ground. We set up everything and decide to read for a bit. About 30 minutes later I looked up and no umbrella. Hole, but no umbrella. I asked my girlfriend if she took it down, and she was just as confused as me. Initially, we thought maybe it blew away, and we just didn't notice it, despite sitting 2 feet away. We were positioned right at the back of the beach, so behind us were dunes with bushes on them, something that would have made a bright multicolor umbrella noticeable if it was stuck. On top of this there was a father and son playing soccer right next to us while we were reading and would have thought they'd be like, "Hey buddy, your umbrella is about to impale someone," if they saw it blow away, but we crossed it off as they weren't attentive. Funny enough, about an hour after the umbrella disappeared, some seahawks began eating some food left out by a couple in front of us who went in the water. Everyone and their mother in the nearby area stopped what they were doing to watch it like it was a movie, and got the attention of the couple in the water. So yeah, my umbrella vanished. I liked that umbrella. Rest in peace. This is the end of the collection. I'm glad you enjoyed it as much as I did, and as always, like and subscribe for more glitches.